When I was in high school, I went to this phenomenal art class. My art teacher was one of the most inspiring people I've ever met, and he really encouraged me to do art, taught me a lot, but still I was like, I don't care, I don't want it to be about me, and so I decided to be a missionary. I was like the girl with the Bible on the bus. I wanted to go to Africa, and I wanted to sit with orphans and widows and everything, and I was really searching for what my call was. God, give me a call, give me a purpose, like tell me a country, ruin me for a people group. So I bought my plane ticket, and it was about 2 weeks before I was gonna leave, and I had put my 2 weeks notice in my job and everything, and I had a dream that night. In the morning I woke up and I'd asked God, what was the dream about? I remember hearing his voice so clearly. He said, "Rachel, that was a really good idea, but I have a better one, and I want you to cancel your trip." I canceled my flight. I canceled the people who were gonna receive me when I got there, and then I went downstairs and I told my parents, and they were very supportive and stuff, but I still had this thing in me where I was like, God told me he had a better idea, but he didn't tell me what his idea was. I just knew I just need to obey him, because I don't want my story to be something exciting. I want it to be one of obedience and surrender. So then about 2 weeks later, I had another dream, and in the dream, God led me to go to this place called Grove City. And while I was there, I met a friend, and I ended up traveling with her. I remember we went to this, it was like a house party, basically, and they wanted her to come and play. And I remember watching her play, and seeing these people who were just like drunk and high, like snap out of it and be totally engaged in these moments where the presence of God seemed to just fill up the room. I saw art used in a way that it could connect to people, and bring people out of a place and bring them into hope and life. And so I began to wonder, what would that look like for me to do that with painting? Because I can't sing, but I know I can paint. So God has given me something. What does it look like for me to partner with him in the gift that I have? I was in this place that I feel like I always wanted to be, and it was great. Things started coming up in my heart. I feel like I had turned my affection from God in the pursuit of doing what he wanted and being with the people who I was supposed to be with. It was like I kind of forgot him in just feeling like a tiny bit of success or something. I started reaching out for things that weren't God. And so there was this weird thing happening in my heart where I was just crying out, Jesus, you have to satisfy me, because everything else just feels like it hurts me. Everything else just feels like it's breaking me. And it was just really this time of brokenness before God and trying to find him in all of that. During this time of kind of being in the wilderness, I began to paint different pictures. They were pictures that would describe and define what God was doing in me. My friend had shared with me this verse that began to be the theme. It was literally the only thing I could find to describe what was happening, and it's from Hosea, and it talks about, he says, I will lure you into the wilderness, and I will surround you with thorns. And he said, but there is where you're gonna fall in love with me. It's in the wilderness. It's in the place where there's nothing else. There's no other source of life. That's where you're gonna find me. And that's what this piece is about that I created. It's about being a seeker in the wilderness, about what you do when you find yourself in brokenness and you feel like nothing else is satisfying you, but it's like you're trying to fight through the thorns almost, like you're trying to get out. And God's like, no, I want you in this place. And just sit still in the brokenness and see if you can see my face here, because he wants to create it into a door of hope for you.